All right, YouTube, we're back. This is going to be the next car we're going to be building here on the channel. This one here hit a deer. It hit a deer pretty hard right here in the front end, so it's going to need some work. I think the hood possibly can be bumped out right here. I'm just probably going to bump this hood out, this dent right here in the hood. But the bumper is pretty much gone. I don't think there's no fixing that. It's missing pieces over here. But I'll raise the hood here in a second and show you everything we got to do to it. But it hit a deer and pretty much dented the fender. The hood got dented. It busted all the grill work, headlights out of it obviously here. There's a spot on this car that I actually just found, and I'll show you the inside with the airbag situation in a minute. But I just found this dent. I didn't even see that when I bought it, so that is definitely a new one there. I didn't even notice it. But when you buy these cars, they like open these doors up knowing that the fender's like right here and it's already bent. They just keep jamming the door, opening it, you know what I mean? But it is what it is. I mean, it's a wrecked car, so probably have to spot paint some of this, kind of feather it in, you know, because it's all chipped up right here. Make it look nice. Look at the rubber got tore out of the door right here. Put that back on. But I said on the videos that we would, you know, do this thing kind of from start to finish, where we do the tear down, we do all that stuff. So basically this is pretty much what we're going to do. We're going to tear this one down and repaint it. So it's going to need a lot of work, but we can make it happen. So this is pretty much what it looks like right here. As you can see here, the headlights pretty much broke right off the thing, but good thing the bolts are still in there so we can save all the bolts and stuff. But core support's tweaked, because if you look at the engine, like looking down right here, you can kind of see where like the core support's kind of like tweaked in, you know what I mean? It's kind of like pulled out a little bit. So sometimes you can straighten them, but I'd rather not do that. I'd rather just put a new one on there. So all depends what it looks like when we get it all tore apart, what kind of shape it's in. But that's pretty much the damage. It rammed the deer, and pretty much I guess the deer, I'm assuming, went into all this, so pretty much got disintegrated. I'm hoping we don't got to do no pulling on the frame rail, because this frame rail looks like it's a little bit bent, but we may have to pull on it a little bit. We'll go over the inside here real fast, show you that. As you can see here inside the car, the headliner got damaged where the airbags blew out. We're gonna have to replace the airbags in here. We'll go over that video with them. If you can see there in the floor, there on the bottom, the driver's side floor airbag went off. And we'll go in here. That one didn't go off, so that's awesome. So the steering wheel went off, the bottom floor went off, and the headliner airbags went out. And I tell you what we're going to try to do on this one. I'm going to try to repair this headliner. I've never done it before. I've never did it. You can see there it's all busted and ripped, but I'm going to try to repair the board and try to repair the whole headliner and everything. So we'll see what happens. But the interior is really clean in this car. It's a nice car. It's we got to take the seat belts out, get them checked out, and send them the safety restore. We'll go over that in the video. We'll send everything out to safety restore, all the seat belts and everything, get them all checked out, and send the module out and get all that checked out and everything, make sure everything's good. But this is our next one. This is what we're going to be working on right here. So we're going to have to fix that door down there, spot paint the edges, fender, hood, and the whole front assembly. But I wanted you guys to kind of see, you know, the before and after, us tearing it down, fixing it, and everything, kind of doing it together so you guys can see what's going on. So start tearing it down, and we'll be back. See you guys in a minute. All right, you guys, we're back. The rain is starting to kind of come down a little bit, so don't know much more I can do, but I got it pretty much gutted. The whole front end's gone off. I got the fender off. The wheel well was busted down here. I got that off. As you can see, these are pieces of it that's left. It's kind of garbage. This horn up here in the front, if you can see here, you can get a good look. See how that horn is kind of slightly going down right there? If you can see it. I got to take off the bumper in the front and kind of pull the horn back up and get it back straight again and line everything up. But it damaged the AC condenser. You can see right there where it hit that pretty good. Trans cooler's kind of like tweaked, like bent really bad. If you look down, you can kind of see how it's going like that. You could probably reuse the trans cooler, but the radiator actually still has fluid in it. So I'm not going to use the radiator for the price of the radiator. I think it was only like, it was cheap. So I'm just going to replace all this stuff, man, because I don't want to take the chance on something like that leaking after you get it all done. I know this AC condenser is definitely going to leak, and this trans cooler is probably just a matter of time before it starts leaking. So, but it's pretty much gutted and all tore down. We're definitely going to try to repair this hood right here. This little dent in this hood can be fixed pretty easy. I think we can repair that hood. If you can see that dent in there, I think it can be fixed pretty easy. Kind of spot painted in. But that's what we're working with right now. We gotta get the AC condenser out, radiator, shroud, everything out of here. Then we can pull the bumper off and get this horn straightened. Get them both even. When we put everything back on, it's all nice and straight. But these are all the parts from the Buick that I took off. This radiator support wasn't bent across this way, not as bad. But on the bottom, like where it goes down and bolts to the where the horns are, it was tweaked really bad. Some people may just bend them back out, but I'm not doing that. I kept the old bumper just to get pieces and screws and stuff off it that I need before I start putting all the new parts on. I'm going tomorrow to pick up all the parts for this. I got another bumper off another one, and the guy actually sold me the hood, 2 headlights, and a front bumper. I bought a new core support and radiator and all that stuff, and I got a new fender coming. The only thing about the fender is the vendor that I'm going to get the fender from. We discussed it in the Sonic video. The place that sold me the one for the Sonic didn't require any kind of work. It was a really good place that I buy them from. But on the fender that I'm going to be getting for this, if you look at this right here, see how that's kind of like straight? Well, on the one from the company I'm going to be getting it from, it's going to be like this, kind of like a V at the end. So you kind of got to grind this, and you got to grind this part to make it perfectly even all the way across. So there is some fitment issues with it, but they do fit good other than that. Issues on this where the piece goes around here where the trim pops on. These holes, they seem like when you start to pop the trim back on the other fender that I'm going to buy new from the company, it seems like it's really tight, like it don't want to pop in quite. So I'm thinking maybe this time I'm kind of going to maybe round the holes out just a little bit on a couple of these, because it seems like the last time I used a fender from that company, when I went to go pop the trim back on, it was really tight, like it almost cracked the trim because it was such a tight fit. The holes like wasn't big enough. So I'll show you that. Maybe it wasn't, maybe it was just a bad trim piece that I bought. Maybe it was a bad reproduction one or something, but we'll see this time if they fit better on the fender. So but yeah, and on this side of the fender, I was able to pop this one and didn't even break anything. I took the little clips off. See, usually these little tabs back here, there's little things that slide in here, like little clips that pops it in the circle, but I didn't break none of these. When you take these off, like if you was to pull the front bumper off your Encore, what you want to do is this inner liner right here, you want to take this out. This whole inner liner from the bottom all the way back to here, take it completely out. And what you'll do is you'll come in from the back side here, and you'll just squeeze the little clips together, and you can push these pieces right off, and they just slip out of here with a little collar that goes in here in the back side. But you can take these off without damaging them. A lot of people break these taking them off, and you don't have to do that. So I'll show you. I wish I would have showed you when I did this one, but you can get these off without breaking them. You just got to be really cautious and careful. So we'll go ahead and we'll snatch the radiator, AC condenser, and transcooler out of here. And we'll be back. So see you guys in a minute. All right, everybody, we're back. Went and picked this bumper up for the Buick Encore. I bought the hood, the bumper, and 2 headlights, and I got an amazing deal on them. This is a original OEM bumper. The aftermarket ones usually have like a square right here, like where a license plate would go, like kind of bubbled up a little bit. That's how you can always tell if these bumpers are like aftermarket ones. This is a OEM factory one. It's a little rough. I mean, you know, got to sand it and all that anyway, but at least it's an original OEM bumper. And the guy I got it from gave me the bumper, the hood, and 2 headlights for $350. So I couldn't beat that deal. I mean, that was awesome. This stuff, I'm gonna respray this. A lot of people who fix these cars like this, when they got two-tone like this, they never paint these right here, these two-tone pieces. They just paint this like probably the same. They'll paint this color on this, and it's not supposed to be like that. It's supposed to be two-toned, and you're supposed to paint these little wheel wells that go around there, but they never do. And I try to do stuff the way it is from the factory to make it right. And you'll see, we'll take this whole bumper apart. This bumper will be in like 3 pieces. This piece will come off of this. This will separate. This will be the color, that blue that's on that Encore that we're working on. And then I'll get that paint finish for this one. I gotta look it up and see what this is. A lot of people don't even know about these colors. Sometimes you gotta really do some research. Like different color Buick Encores have like different color lowers on them. Like, you know, a lot of times you have an upper color and a lower color. A lot of times, if people don't do research, you'll never find out what the lower color is. You know, you really got to look into it. And I've noticed that on a lot of cars it's been fixed. I mean, there's a lot of body shops that do them and do them right, but for some reason, a lot of people who just fix them on the side, they just kind of paint the whole thing one color. You know what I mean? So you'll see that we're gonna separate these two, take the fog lights, all the panels out and everything, paint this, and then this color here on this part is going to be like a silver metallic. I got this out of a paint can last time, some lacquer paint that came in a paint spray can, and I just sanded this really good. And I always just paint this, because that's the closest thing to it. It's like a rim and wheel paint. It's like a silver metallic-y kind of color, so that's what I paint this with. And then I'll put this back on so it all looks real nice. But it looks here like some of it kind of separated right there. See how it started to come apart? It looks like there's something. I have to check into that, see what's going on, but I got a good deal on this. Like, there's no cracks or anything and nothing. I mean, everything looks good, so that'll work out great. So we'll get this thing taken apart. I'll flip it over and show you what it looks like, what we're going to separate on it. We'll get this thing all taken apart, get the grill out of it, and a lot of times if I got time, you know, I'll spray this kind of the silvery charcoal in here where it looks nice and neat looking. But if we have time, we'll go ahead and do all that. But got to keep these things moving, man. Got to get them built. But we'll get it apart and then show you guys what it looks like, and we'll go from there. So we'll be right back. I got the bumper flipped over here. I gave it a good washing because, you know, they get the debris and stuff, and it's best if you kind of clean them before you take them apart. It kind of helps get some of the gunk out of them, and then because it's so flimsy when you start separating the pieces of the bumper, you know. The first thing you're going to want to do on something like this is, and one good thing about this bumper, this is an original, like I told you before we flipped it over, you can tell it was original. If you look here, like it's got the sticker, like the GM sticker on there, that's when you know they're original. And the bumpers are just made better than the aftermarket ones. I mean, I use them, I got nothing against them. It's just that these ones do fit better. What I usually do in a situation like this, when I start disassembling, the grill's got to come out, this piece has to come out. I usually pull this wiring harness off. And these little tools like this right here, I got the shorter ones, I just don't feel like looking for them. Got like a little end on them, you know, you put them underneath your wires right here and you pop them out. I like to take the whole wiring harness right off of this and then just put it away inside the car or something, or put it away until I'm done painting it, assembling it back together, and I'll put the wire back on. It just makes things easier. But what we're gonna do is, I usually take these, kind of reach it up underneath the clip like that, and kind of pop it out. You can see there what I'm doing. You just take it and you pop them right out just like that, and that's all it is. They just pop right out. You just do every one of them like that, and then you get the whole wire and harness out and everything. I'll show you here real fast if I can do it with one hand here. Sometimes it's kind of hard to do. I got more of these anyway in there, so if I break one of them, I got a whole couple bags full of these things. But see how you slip it up underneath there? All you do is just do it like that and they come right out. You just do it like that and pull the whole harness off. And once you pull this whole harness off, you can lay it aside. And next thing you want to do is take these screws out. You got one here, one here. Thought there was another one. But when you pull this out, you can pull this whole fog lamp out of here. And then you can just pop these out, and that's the cover that's on the back side here. That'll be this plastic cover right here. It'll pop right off, that cover will. And on for this piece here, all you'll do is, you see here, you just push these little tabs in, and they pop right out. See there how they got these little edges on them? They got like these little lips on them right here. They lock in this plastic right here. You just kind of lock them right out, just like that. Kind of push it and pull them right out. And that's all there is to it, getting this piece. It's best to take them all off when you're working on this. That way you don't get paint on everything, and it just looks nicer when you put it back. Look how dirty it is in there, and that's another thing. You get a chance to really clean it and, you know, make it look nice when you put it back together. You know, a lot of people build these cars and stuff. You know, they get in a hurry, and I know this is probably not a big deal. It's just a ground effect piece on here, but they get in a hurry and they half put stuff back together, man, and then it just, I don't know. I was always taught like to take pride in what you do and try to do the best job you possibly can. And when I build these cars, I try to use the best I can. Like, I'm taking all this apart. I'm not just going to tape it off, because if I was to tape this off, let me show you something here real quick. Let's say I were to just tape this off right here and here, and just tape this off and paint this and paint that, right? I don't care how good of a taper you are. You're never going to be able to get this that good to where the paint's, never going to flake out of here. It's, with this dirt that's in here over the years of time being, over the years of dirt and stuff in there, you'll never be able to tape this to where it's perfectly in here. Because when you tape this paint's just going to start flaking off after some washes, some rains and all that. All this, either this is going to flake off or this is going to start flaking off. And then the paint job looks like crap. So that's why I take my time and I try to do it right. And there's no issues or nothing. So it may take me a little bit longer, but at the end of the day, I don't got people coming back and saying, hey, my car, the paint's falling off already, and, this isn't done right or whatever. I never get none of that stuff, because I try to do the very best I can. I'm not saying I'm perfect and I'm going to miss stuff. I probably do, but I never have any complaints or any problems. People come back and buy stuff from me and they don't give me any issues. So just take your time when you're taking it apart and don't get in a rush. But let's go ahead. The wind's picking up out here a little bit. Let's go ahead and get this all disassembled, and then we'll get the sanding on it. We'll be right back. We got this all wet sanded. We got a few spots on it. Like, there's little gravel dents right here. They're really small if you can see them. And right there, it's kind of a dip. This is a real bad one right here if you can see it when it's wet. See how it's got that little dent right there? So I'm gonna probably fix that. And I got another one right here. It's a big stone chip. I need to sand that out. And I got a couple of chips right here I need to sand out. I think there's one right here too. So I got most of it sanded, but we're gonna go over it and try to get all of it sanded good and fix these little divots. And pretty much we'll be on to this now, right here, this piece right here. So this is the other piece that we got to paint. This piece here. This piece we got to paint here. This is going to be a different color. That's the color I got to go buy the paint for tomorrow. It's like a different kind of a charcoal, darker gray color that goes on here. It's kind of a metallic, but it just looks flat right now because it's got like a flat clear coat finish. But this piece has to come out too as well. This piece right here has to come out too. It snaps out from the back side here. It pops out from there. So I'll pop that out. I'm not too concerned about the little divots on this one here, but we'll just give this a real good thorough cleaning. We'll clean it really good, pop that piece off, wet sand this, get all the crap off of it, wet sand all this, kind of rough all this in here up, and we will start painting. We will get this here painted, the core support painted over there. We'll paint this part. This piece, gotta buy the paint tomorrow. We'll get this painted, paint that the same color of the car, and then we'll get the core support painted, and then we'll go over that fender that we were talking about grinding it down, where I showed you in the beginning of this video. I'll put that template on there and show you guys how far they're off when you buy them from certain manufacturers and that. So we'll do that, and then we'll get this thing all taken care of and get it all painted. It'll pretty much be done. So all right, you guys, we're back. Probably can't hear me because of the blower going. We got the lower valance here, and we got the trim that goes around the wheel well. We're gonna get that painted today, kind of like that flatty kind of metallic GM color that they use. There's like 3 different colors on these Buick Encore lowers. I'll tell you the name of this one. I'll put a link in the description. There's like 3 different ones that they use for these, in case you're interested. But we're gonna get this painted today. We'll get it all cleaned here, get it ready, and we're gonna paint the other part of the valance. It's out there. It's gonna be the color of the car, the blue. So we'll get that painted today, and we'll get this painted, and then we'll end the video here, and then we will pick up on part 2. We'll do the airbags, the tear down and all that, and then we'll do the reassembly and have this thing done on part 2 video. So we'll get all the parts painted today, so stick with me. Like, share, subscribe. Let's get into this thing. Here's the results on the pieces that we painted. That's the blue color there. You can see it there. It's got a couple dirt spots in it. It's not too bad, but it looks pretty good. So, looks pretty good. That one little dent right there, I didn't want to mess with it, man. I don't got all day to spend on that thing, but here's the other one. This one's got a couple spots on it. You can see them, little dirt spots on it where the wind was trying to pick up the paint booth and throw it around, so it kind of drizzled some dirt in it or whatever. But came out really good. I used that 2K clear on this. I'll show it to you here. I use this clear coat right here, this finish one, and well, the label's kind of gone off the hardener. But I usually use the shop line stuff, but I use this right here. This actually worked really good, believe it or not. This this clear coat, I might start using this because this shop line that I'm buying is like $240. Well, this is reducer here. No, this clear coat. One of these is reducer. Maybe they're both clear. Yeah, they're both clear, I think. Yeah, they're both clear coat. I pay like little over $200 for the hardener and the clear coat versus this finish one. I only paid like $104 or something like that. And I'm gonna check it out and see what it looks like, but I might start using this. That's like half the price of this. That's a lot of money you're saving, off every job. So I might start using that, but I just thought I'd show you guys that. That's the finish off of that one. So it looks pretty good, actually. All right, you guys, I appreciate you watching, and the next video you're going to see is going to be part 2. We're going to put the bumper back together from what we just painted, get the core support painted, and start assembling the front end and get the fender and the hood painted, and I'll show you how to grind that fender like we talked about. And then once we get all that painted, we'll start the assembly process. And also on the next video of part 2, we're going to be taking out all the airbags, send the seat belts off to Safety Restore, and then we'll put the new airbags back in there, and then get everything back together and get it tidied up and get it back on the road. But I appreciate you guys for watching. Thank you. Like, subscribe, and we got more stuff coming. And this S10 right here has got to be painted as well, so we'll be doing a video on that. We got the bed pretty much ready to go, so stick with us, and the next video we'll have this thing all assembled and put back together. So stay tuned, guys, and thanks for watching.